let me tell you about my night. So yesterday, I bought a bike because my friend gave me some money, so I was able to buy a bike, and I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do, right? Like, am I gonna go find a shelter to stay at, or like, what am I gonna do? Because like, I can't keep this car forever. I have to give it up to Capital One. I got a flat tire, is what happened. I was driving yesterday, got a flat tire, and I fucked up the under stuff, and it's like all this other stuff, like randomly it stops accelerating and stuff. So it's like there's a lot of repairs that need to be done, and I haven't been making payments. I haven't had insurance in like months. My tags are hella expired. Like, I'm just not putting more money into this car. I'm just not. I don't have the money for it. So, like I said, my friend bought me a bike, and it's a good bike. It was like we bought it based on like it was the most affordable. I could have spent more money and got like a better bike and got the protection plan and this and that, but um, it'll do. So with it being a manual, no matter what, if it's a manual, it's gonna be difficult, and that's probably something I just need to like accept. But um, I mean, I've got it all figured out how I'm going to carry the drinks, how I'm going to carry the food and everything. And so I'm waiting on Uber Eats right now to give me an order because DoorDash won't let me do it on a bike for some reason in this area. Like, I don't know. So, I'm like waiting on them to give me an order. And I've never done with Uber Eats before. Like, one time I turned it on and I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And so I went to McDonald's and ordered food and sat there and ate my food. And this guy came in and talked to me for a while, and I just sat there and waited and waited, and then it gave me one, but I didn't respond within like 0.2 seconds because I was still new, so it had all these tutorial things that kept popping up, and I was like, okay, 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 boom, it went away. Too late. I'm like, the fuck? So, anyways, talking about like last night and shit. So, I get the bike and I'm like, what am I gonna do? So there's this shelter that's just up the road. So I ride my bike all the way up there, and it took like 5 hours or so for me to find a shelter to go to because I just kept calling people, and they're like giving me numbers and numbers and numbers, and just like I've talked about that anyways. So fuck it, I'll go, whatever. So I'm at Walmart because that's where I got my car too. After I got the flat tire, got the bike, and I was like, I'll just go to the shelter to see. So I went over to the shelter to see. I don't know what this guy's deal is. He's not an employee or anything, but he's looking at me like he's about to come talk to me or something. Anyways, so I went all the way to the shelter and they like accepted me and everything, but it was just like a gym, and a lot of people in there had like COVID and like coughing, and um, a lot of people had mental illness, and like were very aggressive, and it was very crowded and it smelled bad, and I was like, God, I can't, and it felt like I was more like healthy and more able-bodied than the volunteers that were working there, and like it just felt like really bad being there. So I was like, I can't. So I rode my bike all the way back. I get back, I'm like, what am I gonna do? Right? Like, what am I gonna do with the bike? It won't fit inside the car. I don't have a bike rack. So I just got a bike lock and locked it to my door, and it's within the parking spot. So, but anyways, last night I was like, I know they're gonna fuck with me, so I had a hard time sleeping. Well, they did. The security guard comes up, bangs on my window, and I was like, I don't know what to say to him, because he's just gonna say you have to leave. Walmart wants you to leave. You have to leave, and that's it. It's like I can't leave. I have a flat tire. The undercarriage shit's messed up. Like, literally 0 miles in gas. I'm surprised it's even running right now. Um, so I just ignored him, and then he called the police, of course. So the police come out, and they knock on the door, and I open the door for him, and he's like, what's going on? Why are you here? So I explain it to him, like what happened and everything. And he's like, okay, do you have an ID? And I'm like, yeah. So I give it to him. He goes back to his car for a while, and I'm sitting there like panicking, like, oh my God, he might arrest me. I mean, he could arrest me for all kinds of things, expired tags, no insurance on the car, blah, 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 just like being on the property without permission, not leaving. He could arrest me for anything. So I'm like, whatever. So he comes back with my license, and he's like, okay, well, I understand your situation and everything. If the security guard comes back and talks to you, just try to explain it to them, and hopefully they'll let you stay. But this is, their decision if you can stay on Walmart property or not, because they're the security guard for Walmart. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So I was pretty panicked. I was like waiting on the security guard to come back and talk to me. He never did. I was like, all right, bet. So I go to sleep, and I wake up at like 10 or so, and I've been sitting here waiting for orders, Well, the other security guard comes up and talks to me, and I'm explaining it to him, and he's like, "Well, my family owns a tire shop." I'm like, "I don't have any money." Anyways, so he's like, "Well, too bad we can't get you a bike rack or something, so it won't look so bad with it being locked to your car like that." I'm just like, I mean, if I'm getting rid of the car anyways, why would I need a bike rack for my car? Like that, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a good way to spend my money, and I don't have any money. As I was telling him, like, I'm waiting to get money. I'm waiting to get orders so I can get money. And he's like, "Well, Walmart doesn't like you being out here um, unless you're in the store." And that's the first time I've ever heard that from Walmart. like I said, in other parts of the country, Walmarts are typically fine with overnight parking. I've even seen Walmarts with signs that say they're fine with overnight parking, but I've also seen Walmarts with signs that say they're not fine with overnight parking. This parking lot does not have any of those signs. So, anyways, he's like, "Yeah, we don't like you just like being out here not buying anything." I'm like, "Well, I mean, I bought the bike from here. I've been buying food from here. Like," he's like, "Oh, well, I'll leave you alone. I get off at 4. The next shift, I don't know what they're going to do." I'm like, "Okay." So, yeah, that's how that went down.